Everyone, I want to call this special Board of Trustees meeting to order. Turn it over to Chairman Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Trustees, thank you for being here. Thank you all for that have showed up today to go over this important movement in our board. Got a couple talking points I want to review real quick. I want to begin by saying that all three of our finalists were unbelievable candidates. Throughout the process, the interviews, just highly qualified. So the candidates had exceptional credentials. The finalists possessed strong academic and professional backgrounds, demonstrating a clear ability to lead and manage complex educational systems. They had proven track record. Each candidate had a history of success in improving educational outcomes and fostering community engagement. Commitment to innovation. The finalists have shown innovative approaches to problem solving and well equipped to address the challenges of the future. And the candidates' priorities align closely with the district's mission and vision. Timeline. Initial candidate pool, the comprehensive advertisement search phase was completed by April 2025. Interviews, preliminary and final interviews conducted in May of 2025, ensuring thorough vetting. And then final decision, the board aims to announce the selected superintendent today, allowing for a seamless leadership transition. Today, I want to emphasize a strong consensus by the board. So what I'm looking is a unified commitment. The selection process is designed to foster consensus amongst board members, emphasizing collaboration and shared values. Transparent deliberations, open discussion, and shared evaluation ensure that all perspectives are considered today. And mutual agreement, a unanimous or majority agreement, is sought to reinforce confidence in the final decision. The process today will be similar to the last process, where we're going to have a round-robin discussion during the work session, which will be equal participation. Each board member will be given an opportunity to voice their opinions, ensuring inclusivity and diverse perspectives. Structured format will be discussions are structured to maintain focus and efficiency while respecting time constraints. And collaborative debate, the format encourages constructive dialogue, allowing members to build on one another's insight. The motion process will be, as we work through the work session, we discuss all of the candidates or the candidates that we want to push forward. Once we've had our full round robin discussion and no more discussion, then we'll move into the regular meeting. And at that point, we will move into entertaining a motion. That motion will entail that the Board of Trustees offers a position of superintendent to whoever that finalist is, and authorizes the chair and board attorney to begin contract negotiations. Now, once the motion is made and we find our superintendent, then there will be a process of background checks, contract negotiations, and then that'll have to come back before the board for approval. So this is the first step in selecting the candidate, and then we'll have to have the negotiations take place, and then vetting of that candidate to meet our qualifications. Okay. So, with that being said, we're going to start the first round of the round robin, and we'll start at the far end. And LaQuanda, can you come forward, please, and give us Mike's statement, please? Mike is out of the country, so he wrote his comments and sent those directly to HR, and we'll be hearing them for the first time today.
Good afternoon, trustees. So this email is from Trustee Flood. He wrote, "My interviews with all three candidates were very good. 3 impressive people, all of whom I think could do a good job. My interviews were split, with one being first thing in the morning and the other 2 being at the end of the day. The different times created a little bit of a different experience. Every teacher knows that the last period of the day is the hardest, as both of you and your students are tired. I talked to Dr. Schuler first thing in the morning. She was fresh, charismatic, and thoughtful. She had a very good answer to my question about extracurricular activities. I was appreciated her comments about her time in the classroom and her relationships with students. She and I also had a brief discussion on conflict resolution, and her comments there really impressed me. She seems like someone who was very good at hearing all sides and building community. I spoke to Dr. Bush last at the very end of the day. My approach to the interview was to ask my 3 questions and then just try to have a natural conversation. We were both tired and our conversation faltered a bit. He was content to end the conversation early. I also spoke with Ms. Conrad Peters at the end of the day. She too was having a long day, but it was also very clear that she was focused on powering through and being fully present for our discussion. I also talked to her at the morning breakfast, and I'm glad I did. She impressed me in the morning, asking me to sit and talk with her, and being honestly interested in listening and talking. In our interview, her answers to my questions were all good. I was impressed that she teaches college-level courses in a principal degree program and seems to have a very good understanding of positive leadership. Because we were all tired, our conversation faltered at first, but she helped to get it going, And once it got rolling, we ended up running over time. She also seems like someone who will be very good at building community. I was also struck by the serendipity of Ms. Conrad Peters of how she found this job opening and how this move would nicely fit into her life story. Michael Flood.
Thank you, Michael Flood. Dr. Lynn, starting with you.
I just want to start by saying that I'm really happy about just the entire process of us getting to the point where we are at right now. In terms of the candidates, I too feel that they are all amazing candidates, hence why they got to be the top 3. All had their own strengths. They all interviewed well. Mine was at the end of the day too. Like middle of the day. But I was impressed by Miss Julie Conrad, and I was impressed by Dr. Schuler as well. I enjoyed Dr. Bush as well. I think my scoring, what the final score ended up being, is the order in which I would have selected them. And so without getting into, we've all had an opportunity to talk to them, and so they were all great, and this was a very hard decision. This was not, I just want people to know this was not easy. It was not an easy choice. I know for me it wasn't. I can't speak for everyone else, but yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All right. What Lynn said, and then I just want, for me there was a process of going through the resumes, reading the reference letters, doing my own research online, obviously the videos that they made us, the interviews that we conducted, and then also I've talked to several teachers, staff members, and I wanted to get their input, and so we did that. And so Yeah, the interviews were all great. I enjoyed all three of them. It was a very tough decision. I think there's differences in leadership styles, and there's some differences in how they manage people. There's differences in how they see things, and so without getting into too much detail, I'm gonna be like Lynn. We scored the interviews, and that would be my vote, is how the way I scored the candidates on the interviews was lined up with how I would score them overall. So yeah, I too hope that I really appreciate the work that you did, Lynn and Danny, in getting us to this point, and being open and transparent through the entire process. I think this is our first step towards healing, and so that being said, I think a unanimous vote would be my goal as well today. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Tanya?
I can just echo everything that's been said already in the room. Again, interviews were great. They were all engaging. They all definitely seemed like they wanted to be there, interested in what they can do for Lake Wells Charter School System. I don't think we could go wrong with either one of them, actually. A couple of them did definitely stand out to me, and of course that's reflected in my scoring. And I mean, it's not a whole lot to be said. The process was, honestly, it was great. I think you guys did a great job with this whole process, and I think we did a great job this time in finding some good candidates.
You're up.
Okay. I also want to state that I enjoyed meeting all three of the candidates. I was impressed at different degrees by all three of them. They all have a wealth of experience in education, and it really showed. I enjoyed our interviews, but my philosophy going into the interviews, I asked, my questions were a mix of some curriculum and education questions and then some business operations questions. And my goal really was to see which candidate seemed to be focused on their decisions and their policies to get the required resources into the classroom. So that was my goal, to kind of see if I could fish that out of each one. So that's how I approached it in my scoring. Two rose to the top, and I guess we're going to have a discussion on who the top person is going to be, but yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment.
Okay. All of the trustees are spot on with what they've said. Lynn, I appreciate the process. This is my second time through this, and I must say this time was much more enjoyable, much more transparent. I felt like the process was above reproach, so thank you for putting that together. All three candidates, to me, again, were all phenomenal. They all had different leadership styles. Two of the candidates rose above, and I had a really hard time scoring those two because I had them so evenly matched that it was almost a coin toss. They both had a little different leadership styles, was the only difference in the two, and I felt like one was a little better fit for me because of the leadership style. And to add to that, I want to thank the handful of teachers who showed up to the meet and greet and provided me with some input, because that was good. I mean, I wish it had been more, but that was an opportunity for the teachers to meet those candidates and provide input to us. And the ones that did talk to me, I listened, and it was good input. And going into the one-on-one interviews, I tried to be a clean slate and listened to all of them from the start. And what the teachers were telling me in the meet and greet matched up with the interviews. So the person who stood out the most to me from the leadership style was Julie Conrad Peters. Her and Dr. Schuler were, I mean, even all the way through. Just the leadership style, I think, is a better fit for us. So that's all I've got. Dr. Hedda?
Okay, my interview, all three scored identical scores. I asked questions. One was about data analysis and decision making, just how they use data. One was about how they've addressed a decline in morale. And then the last question was about the school improvement planning process. All three answered completely. There was nothing they left out of their answers. With the time left, I asked them to share both a success from their career and a time where they implemented something that just didn't go as well as they would have liked it to be. All three, I was really impressed because all three owned it. It was all about what they could have done different. But Julie Conrad Peters actually said, I saw it on their faces. And so that was a slight, just her ability to connect and see what other people need was a slight edge for me. Like Chairman Gill said, the meet and greet, I was able to talk to a couple teachers. Both Bush and Schuler were complimented on just the systems they put in place, their passion. But with Julie Conrad Peters, the response from a couple teachers whose classroom she visited was they were excited by her presence there. I also went back to the survey that was done by a community member and just I had him email me the open-ended comments that were made. And because again, all three for me and my questions were totally even. So the focus of what our community and teachers wanted in our next superintendent is communication and transparency, willingness to consider concerns of employees. They talked about being personable, taking the time to get to know employees, get to know their why and what they do. The leader of the system needs to have integrity and a vision to see each child for their value and to treasure each educator. It talked about building upon the resources that we have, increasing community partnerships. And while all three did that, as Chairman Gill said, just the personality of Julie Conrad Peters gave her a slight edge for me as well. But as others have said, we would be led well by any of the three. And as an educator myself, it was an honor to spend time with those three people.
Brian, you're up.
All right. I could just have your Chairman Gill's or Trustee Hutto's comments as my comments. All three were exceptional candidates. They all have different leadership styles. When I interviewed them, I had two that scored exact the same, and the other one was just 1 point difference. So just so close all three candidates were. I went back and I looked at my original comments from our redacted applications that we received when we picked the top 10, and two of the two candidates that kind of have risen to the top, I had the exact same comments for both of them. I didn't realize that at the time, but so they were just so identical. And what came down to me was very similar to what Dr. Hutto just mentioned, is talking with some staff members as well, was that what I feel would be the best fit for us and the leadership style would be Julie Conrad Peters as well. That's it for me.
Thank you, trustees. Any trustees need to have a second round of discussion?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn. Okay. Do we have a second to adjourn the work session?
Second.
Let's move through here. Okay, so no other discussion on that item. Everybody has shared their point.
Pull my motion back.
Okay.
I'll table it.
You'll table it? It's a work session, so you can't make a motion. Trustee, or Al Ricky, the next meeting is June 16th, 4 o'clock work session, 5 o'clock meeting. Hopefully at that meeting, we will have contract negotiations completed, and we will be bringing that forth.
Are you comfortable with that date, Mr. Chair?
I am at this point, yes.
Okay,
Are you good with it?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, as far as,
Contract,
what's that?
we're just going over contract in that meeting.
That'll be our regular meeting, but one of the agenda items will be the contract approval. That's our regular June meeting. Chair report, I don't have anything else. Trustees, anybody have anything else?
I thought we weren't gonna have a June, did I miss that?
We're not having a retreat.
Oh.
We're just doing the regular June meeting.
Just clearing that up.
Yeah. The retreat's going to be held after the superintendent's selected, so they can have involvement in that. Okay, any other business for the good of the cause? If not, meeting adjourned. We're going to move directly into the regular meeting. So, let me pull up my agenda here. And I'd like to go ahead and call the regular meeting to order. Pastor Andy, can you please lead us in invocation and pledge? Thank you, Pastor. Appropriate prayer for what we're going to partake in. Okay. All right, before we get into any scheduled persons to address the board, got a citizen input statement I want to read. We highly value citizens' input. Throughout this process, we've taken into input in the form of public speakers, phone calls, messages, emails, personal conversations, and more. As you share your priorities for our selection of the next superintendent, please keep your comments focused on the positive attributes of our finalists. Please advocate for a finalist if you choose to do so, not against any finalist. Each of our finalists are highly accomplished professionals who've applied for a job, albeit a very public job. We are here tonight to determine who's the best fit for our district through any one of our finalists, though any one of our finalists could lead the district. Marie, do we have any scheduled persons to address the board?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Does anybody in the audience want to address the board? Okay, we'll move forward. Okay, we're moving into the superintendent selection. As I discussed during the work session, the process, we've already gone through a round of discussion. Again, this is going to be a motion. The motion will be that the Board of Trustees offers the position of superintendent to the candidate and authorizes the chair and board attorney to begin contract negotiations. So I will open up the floor for a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve Julie Conrad Peters for the position of superintendent and to allow the chair and who else did you say?
And the board, and the attorney.
And the attorney to begin contract negotiations.
Second.
I have a motion by Raphael and a second by Andy. Any further discussion or comments on the motion on the floor? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Marie, will you please handle that?
Trustee Margaret.
Yes.
Trustee Hutto.
Yes.
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 Trustee Blair.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Is that all trustees, Marie? Okay, motion carries. I'd like to congratulate Julie Conrad Peters as we look forward to working with you. The next step, the selected superintendent will need to satisfactorily complete all pre-employment processes as set forth by the Lake Wales Charter Schools and Florida statute. All background checks must meet our employment criteria. Contract negotiations will begin. Sean and I will work on that. It is within the contract that a starting date and compensation package will be agreed upon. Once a contract has been tentatively agreed upon, it will come back before the board for final approval. The transition plans will be made for working with interim superintendent Smith and for assuming the responsibilities of superintendent. Again, congratulations, Ms. Conrad Peters. We look forward to working with you. Chairman report, other than excitement of getting through this process and voting on an absolute outstanding candidate and the process of interviewing the other two candidates who were phenomenal, and I would highly work with any of them. I'm excited to move forward to the next step, and I'm excited where this is going to take us, really am. Trustees, any other reports?
I don't know, I want to say something. I too just want to reiterate that, and I know we've been saying it over and over, but all of them were amazing.
Yes.
You know, they were all amazing. I do believe that our system is in a place where we need healing and loving on and repair. I think any one of them could have done that, but I do believe that throughout the entire process, it has led us to this point, and I think that, as you can see by the vote, that we all trusted the process, and it came to a unanimous vote. And so I appreciate everyone that was even a part of the process, even the committee early on. And yes, it is excitement to get to past, well, we're still not over yet, but we're at least, we can see the finish line. So thank you to everyone.
Well said. Andy, anything for you?
I'll bring that motion back up.
I'll get just 1 minute. Tanya, anything you want to say? Raphael?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Hedda?
Just real quick, I just want to make sure the other trustees have seen the press release on the Lake Wales Charter School website. One of our rising juniors has been accepted into an elite Learn Overseas program. I just totally lost the term on my brain, but I believe this is the first time we've ever sent a student to another country. We've accepted exchange students, so just a special congratulations to Claire Kane, who will be spending the next school year in Germany, because I think it's a great reflection of our students and the awesome things going on in our system. See, I told you short.
That was short. I admit that was short. Brian?
I have a budget question. No, just kidding, Eric. I'm good.
All right. Any other business for the good of the cause?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Hearing none, we adjourn.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll say.